Allô? Putain, je comprends pas là, ça lag là, mes pages, j'arrive rien à charger là. Bah, toutes les pages qui concernent WoW, ça lag à mort mon pote, ils sont tous dessus ou quoi. Sur le site Battle.net, j'arrive même pas à afficher la vidéo quoi. Putain. Ben moi en fait j'ai fait le con parce que tu sais j'ai cliqué sur le lien. En fait j'avais déjà la vidéo d'ouverte de mon côté, c'est en train de charger. J'ai cliqué sur ton lien. Et là ça s'affichait direct la vidéo. Et comme un con, pensant que mon lien allait marcher, j'ai fermé ta vidéo. Enfin le lien que j'ai cliqué. Et depuis bah ça va pas. Putain, la déception. Ah c'est bon, c'est affiché. Mais bon, c'est figé quoi, 2 minutes 29 c'est figé. Ça freeze à mort quoi. Bon t'as lancé ton stream? Bon, ok nice, je reviens. Ok. Et les gens m'entendent parler quand même. Ouais, c'est pas grave. Je reviens.
Alors, mesdames et messieurs, vous allez voir la cinématique du nouveau WoW qui va bientôt sortir.
It is the lifeblood of this world. Our bond is iron. Our will unbreakable. Who will stand against us?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chris Waters.
Et voilà, c'est parti les gens.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Horde and the Alliance alike, welcome to the Warlords of Draenor Worldwide Cinematic Premiere! I want to thank all of you here in the Ace Theater in downtown Los Angeles for coming out today, and all of you for tuning in and watching online. My name is Chris Waters. I can usually be found talking about games, playing games, generally celebrating how awesome games are on GameSpot.com. But today, I'm here, we're all here, to celebrate one awesome game. World of Warcraft has touched millions of people all around the world, and y'all were not the only people lining up for an event like this today. In China, in Korea, and at Blizzard's booth in Cologne, Germany at Gamescom, hundreds and thousands of you have all come out to see what Blizzard has to offer, and it's gonna be a great show. In addition to the Warlords of Draenor intro cinematic, we've also got a brand new animated series that delves deep into the lore of World of Warcraft. We're going to talk with World of Warcraft developers about all the new features you can expect once Warlords of Draenor goes live.
Allô?
And, of course,
Allez, commencez la vidéo?
Legends,
Oui.
Mike Morhaime and
Je vais
Chris
juste te
Madsen.
demander juste de pas parler.
Vas-y, ok.
Parce que je pense que je
It's gonna be
vais
a great
le
show,
poster et
so
le
let's
mettre
kick
et
it
tout.
off
quoi.
in earnest. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Blizzard's CEO and co-founder, Mike Morhaime.
Ah, c'est pas commencé encore.
Si, si, c'est déjà commencé.
Ouais, mais c'est les mecs qui parlent.
Ah, j'aime bien la chemise.
C'est vrai qu'elle est sympa.
You all for coming.
Il y a une chemise de bowling.
I want to thank everyone on the stream for tuning in.
Et tu vas poster juste la cinématique, pas tout le blabla là.
Bah, c'est tout.
Ok, je vais mettre alors.
As
sûr.
many of you know, this year marks the 20th anniversary of the original Warcraft Orcs and Humans strategy game. And the 10th anniversary of World of Warcraft. We've all made some awesome memories together, created close friendships, and shared some great times playing these games over the years. And that is a big reason why we're really excited about Warlords of Draenor. This expansion takes World of Warcraft back to the roots of Warcraft. You'll explore the Orc homeworld and establish your own base of operations as you fight for the future of Azeroth. Two of the designers on the game, Ian Hazakostas and Brian Holinka, are here, and they'll talk more about what you can expect from the expansion. We also have Chris Metzen here to debut some really cool stuff for you. Chris will get into the legendary characters and events that formed the foundation of this fantasy world that we are all part of. That's all coming up, along with the date when the next chapter of World of Warcraft will go live. And without further ado, I'd like to turn the show back over to our host, Chris Waters.
All right, we're going to get set up for an interview just a second here, but first, I want to hear from you folks in the crowd. How many of you are here, standing strong, representing the Alliance? Well, I guess that also answers my next question. How many of you here are running with the Horde? Sounds like you got your work cut out for you, Alliance. All right, please join me in welcoming to the stage World of Warcraft developers Ian Hazakostas and Brian Holinka. How about this crowd, guys?
Pretty pumped up. This is incredible. This is like a little mini BlizzCon in the middle of Los Angeles on a Thursday morning. How about that?
You see this woman over here? She's got full face paint, fangs. Awesome.
Oh, wow.
Full getup.
We
All
saw
right,
this guy here at Tuesday at 1 p.m., so
Tips.
there's a...
Yeah.
All right, gents, let's get into it here. But first, give the folks a little bit of touch point for what you do at Blizzard, what your work on World of Warcraft consists of.
Sure, yeah, my name is Brian Holinka, and I'm a senior game designer on World of Warcraft, and specifically, I spend most of my time working on PvP. I think some people here like PvP, right?
A few.
So yeah, my name is Ian Hazakostas. I'm one of the lead game designers on WoW, watcher on the forums and on Twitter. And yeah, I do a bunch of different things, work with the dungeon and raid team that make the encounters for the game, and a little bit of systems, some class stuff here and there. But yeah, super excited to be here.
Right on, fellas. Well, every time there's an expansion for World of Warcraft, it's a chance for people of all levels to dive back in, to chase new loot, to chase new levels. But I don't know if this resonates with any of you out there, but it can be a little daunting for some of those of us who are more modestly leveled, shall we say. But in Warlords of Draenor, you guys have introduced level 90 boosts. It's going to sort of address that and help folks out. Can you talk to us a little bit about it?
Yeah, sure. We're definitely aware that there are a lot of folks in that boat. Maybe not the people sitting right here, because I know you guys are all hardcore level 90s. But maybe you want to switch. Maybe you want to switch characters. Maybe you want to switch mains coming into the expansion. So we want to make sure that when you get Warlords of Draenor, when you log in to face this new adventure, you can really jump right into Draenor. You don't necessarily want to find yourself at level 73 in Grizzly Hills and, oh wow, you've got a lot of ground to cover before you can get there. So no matter what, when you have Warlords of Draenor, you'll be able to boost one of your characters to level 90, whether it's a brand new character or an existing one, and you will find yourself facing the Dark Portal with this new adventure lying ahead of you. And as you go through and have your initial assault on the Dark Portal, we have a structured experience, kind of a little bit like the old Death Knight starting experience, where we will pare down your bars, make sure you only have a few buttons initially, so you're not necessarily overwhelmed by a new spec, or if you're coming back to the game after many years, changes that have happened while you were away. Then as you go through the adventure, as you progress on your initial mission, things will unfold, things will unlock, you get new abilities, you get new talents, and next thing you know it, you're ready to take on Draenor.
Excellent. So easing folks in for when they want to jump into the deep end.
Pretty much.
And so when I've rolled my new Draenei Paladin, I'm rolling out there, level 90 boosted.
Si tu veux, je peux te l'avoir avec le traducteur français.
What kind of stuff am I bringing along?
So yeah, that's one of the really exciting things about this expansion. We've finally taken the time to go back and update all of our character models from vanilla, as well as, the Draenei, since they're such a prominent race that you're going to find in Draenor. We'll be getting to the other ones in the very, very near future. But yeah, so all new high-def looks. At the same time, you also might notice that we've cleaned up people's bars a little bit. We recognize that over many, many years, we kind of added and layered on abilities that were often a little bit redundant or maybe not necessary. And we really wanted to kind of streamline, get back to the basics, the core of what each class is, and also give us some more room to add cool things in the future. Because at some point, once you have all your keybinds, all your action bar space full, there's nowhere to go from there.
So really gearing up for a fresh start and sort of a new chapter in the world of Warcraft.
Exactly.
All right. Well, speaking of Warcraft, I mentioned before that I work for GameSpot, and about 20 years ago, a little less, and I think I played that so much, got so wrapped up in that RTS awesomeness, I still have the Zug Zug and in your name, lodged back in my lizard brain. So imagine my delight when you guys are kind of bringing that RTS gameplay back into Warlords of Draenor.
Yeah, you get a little bit of that from the Garrison. It's definitely putting the Warcraft back in World of Warcraft. Your mission.
Mais tu comprends pas ce qu'il dit, du coup, c'est dommage.
And as mighty a hero, as mighty a champion as you may be, having felled the Lich King, Deathwing, all these great enemies.
Que là, en fait, les mecs, ils sont en train de dire qu'ils veulent réduire. Ils veulent réduire, resimplifier encore plus WoW, avoir moins de techniques, moins de compétences.
Making a number of choices along the way, whether you want a lumber mill or a stables, whether you want an armory or a mage tower.
Okay.
And those choices are going to shape your adventure through Draenor and really give you a way to kind of customize, level up, and have this feeling of, hey, this is my base, and I own a part of it.
Because we all want ways to feel more powerful, don't we? Building up that garrison, does that sound good to you guys? All right, well, I want to talk to you a little bit now, Brian, because while building up my garrison and marshaling my friends to go on and take on the AI nefarious demons that await us, may be very satisfying. Sometimes you just want to suit up and go head-to-head with another player. Yeah. In Ashran, the new PvP realm, that's what we're going to be doing?
Absolutely. Warlords of Draenor is a very exciting time for anyone that likes PvP in the world of Warcraft. Bring a lot of changes, a lot of new features, things like skirmishes, back into the fold. There's really more to do as a PvP player in World of Warcraft than ever before. And a big part of that is Ashran.
Alors ils disent quoi là, Fortis?
Oui, là ils vont parler du PVP là.
Ils sont en train de parler de PVP là.
D'un nouveau mode apparemment.
D'accord.
We have battlegrounds where players can feel part of the Alliance or the Horde and battle for, Arathi Basin or Warsong Gulch. And that structured stuff is really fun. But we wanted to kind of bring a new type of PvP content, something that feels like world PvP, in the world of Warcraft. So we wanted to set out and make a PvP playground. A place that, if I don't want to do arenas, I don't want to do battlegrounds, but I want to just kind of go out and beat some heads, there's a place for me to do it. And that's what Ashran is. It's this island, it's off the east coast of Tanaan. It's kind of isolated there, but it's an old ogre city and civilization that's kind of fallen into ruin.
Salut Cook.
The Alliance and Horde have kind of retreated there following the raid
Salut,
of the
salut.
Dark Portal, and they're kind of regathering their
Salut.
strength there. So Horde base is on the north side, the Alliance base is on the south side. And what
Putain,
now,
mais ça me saoule, les mecs
put
traduisent
the
rien du
Alliance
tout,
and the
quoi.
Horde on an island, and it doesn't go so well. Like,
I'm
they're kind of
shocked.
fighting it, right. So there's this massive tug of war going on.
Je ne pense pas, non, la cinématique n'est pas passée. Ce qu'on a vu tantôt, je sais pas c'était quoi. C'est peut-être pour ça, mais on a vu Ortiz, tu l'as vu peut-être, ce truc-là, je sais pas, c'est bizarre quand même. Mais bon, la cinématique, on l'a pas vu encore, hein. Ou alors ils l'ont passé, on l'a pas vu.
All that kind of stuff is kind of coming back. And, you know, if you don't necessarily want to jump into that Zerg gameplay, around the outside of the island, we have these 4 different little areas. They're kind of themed.
Mais je pense que non, parce que sinon ils auraient
They've got
pas...
different creatures there that you can kill and slay. You can earn things called artifact fragments, which are kind
Les
of
gens
natural
parlent avant,
currency.
enfin ils font leur truc et
You
puis
use
après ils
that
mettent la
currency to go
cinématique, je pense.
buy different things for your team, for yourself. And it kind of provides the opportunity for that roaming 5-man PvP group to kind of come back into the fold. So it's really cool.
Voilà, restez ici, au moins il y aura moins de problèmes de flux.
But you know, anytime we do something like that, we don't want to, you know, a lot of our realms are kind of like mostly Horde or mostly Alliance. So we're using some of our new technology to say, oh, you know, Tichondrius is mostly Horde. Okay, we'll grab them and we'll pit them against another server that's mostly Alliance. So they'll be coming together in Ashran. So for the most part, the population will be well balanced. It'll be a good experience for everybody.
Sounds pretty good to me. Now, when you're, Brian, talking about sort of stuff you can sort of go off the beaten path and earn...
Franchement, ça me saoule, les mecs veulent rien traduire, ils parlent de leur vie, ils parlent de leur jeu, gros.
You guys are getting a little bit playful in the kinds of abilities
Tu regardes sur quoi là?
Sur Eclipsia.
Ouais, bah Eclipsia, voilà quoi.
Morgan Day have just been just being super creative with everything that's in there. Because one thing about World PvP is kind of finding other ways to have an advantage. You know, whether you're sneaking up on or you've just found that item that is the awesome item. That's really one of the classic parts about World PvP. And so what players can do is one of the cool things that they can find on some of the monsters out there are these special tomes. They're particular for your class, and they give your class kind of a limited time buff. That's a little crazy. Like, you don't want these in arena, believe me. You know, there are things like priests, their levitate spell kind of lets them fly off the ground for a while and cast spells and heal. And paladins can lay down judgment on their enemies and send them to the faction prison where...
Eh ben voilà, ce qui arrive arrive. Voilà, ça commence.
La cinématique?
Non, là, le flux ne veut plus suivre. On va s'en douter. Hein. Ah, voilà, c'est reparti.
Very cool stuff.
And, you know, for all that punishment that you're inflicting, for, you know, all those great sort of power moves you're pulling, there's glory in victory, there's honor, but is there some extra loot you can maybe gain from the process as well?
Well, you know, Ashran's that opportunity for us to really rewrite the rules. And so one of the things we're doing different is that artifact fragments, that currency in Ashran I was talking about before, if you kill another player, you can loot half their Ashran fragments. So you're basically looting players. Yeah. So it brings a whole new dynamic to World PvP. In Warlords of Draenor.
Oula, ils sont en train de dire un truc sur PVP qui a pas l'air de...
Guys want to loot each other.
De faire plaisir à certaines personnes, je pense.
Je sais pas, moi, ils veulent rien traduire, les mecs, ça me cave là, putain. J'aime bien savoir de quoi parle ce que je regarde, tu vois.
New realms and new parts of lore, but one of the things that's coming back around in a big way is that old dark portal. You guys, we've seen the Dark Portal for years now. Sorry, the Dark Portal. We agree.
You have to say it that way.
You have to say it that way. Yeah. It's my bad, folks. Ian, can you tell us more about the role of the Dark Portal in Warlords of Draenor?
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. I mean, really, going all the way back to, you know, the Warcraft 2 expansion, it was called Beyond the Dark Portal for a reason. The Dark Portal is the first thing you're going to see when you log into Warlords of Draenor. It's both the first threat that is posed to you and posed to Azeroth as a whole, and your first objective. Even though, this is happening in Draenor, Distant World, there's a very immediate existential threat, which is that the Iron Horde, led by Grommash, is going to march their forces and their weaponized armored Gron and their siege machinery right through the Dark Portal and just lay waste to the entirety of Azeroth. Stormwind, Orgrimmar, all of it. And it's up to us to stop them.
Yikes.
Exactly. Not so good. So the very first thing that you do is going to be embarking through the Dark Portal on something of a suicide mission to sabotage it and shut it down. Spoilers, you don't actually die. And then from there, you're winning the initial battle, but certainly far from winning the war. You've bought yourself some breathing room, a little bit of time, by shutting down that imminent invasion, but you still need to raise that army to work on Draenor to defeat the Iron Horde and stop that threat from actually being realized.
And now this invasion, I mean, that sounds a lot like one of these world events that you guys are fond of kicking off your expansions with. Am I right, folks? Can you tell us a little bit about sort of how you're presaging Warlords of Draenor sort of being released into the wild?
A little bit of that, yeah. I mean, we've done some fun stuff in the past, like the zombie plague, things along those lines. It's always nice to throw a little twist. So what we're going to be doing in the 6.0 patch before Draenor itself unlocks is basically showing you this initial vanguard, this initial Iron Horde threat. They have this first incursion through the Dark Portal that's basically laid waste to Blasted Lands. Netherguard Keep is now in ruins. The Alliance and Horde are scrambling to understand this new threat, to understand what's happened, and to kind of rally their forces in response. And you are part of that first group that's sent to investigate, to learn what's happened there. At the same time,
il va y avoir un nouveau patch qui arrivera 1 ou 2 semaines avant l'extension à la 6.0. C'est ça qu'ils sont en train de dire là.
Oui, bah, comme toutes les sorties, hein. Il y a toujours un patch avant, c'est logique. Hein. C'est le jeu en fait. Hein. Le patch c'est le jeu. Hein.
We're going to have a special level 90 preview version of that available for a limited time only, where you can go into level 90 new Upper Blackrock Spire and fight your way through the first half of the dungeon, get some relevant loot to prepare yourself for Draenor, and get a taste of things to come.
Sound good? Ian, I think you've probably sold them all here already, but let's talk a little bit about Draenor as a world. This isn't the first new world that has been introduced to World of Warcraft, but with each new expansion, with each new world you bring, une
partie d'un donjon qui va sortir avant l'extension.
Ah bon, carrément.
Ouais.
Donc on a intérêt à vite à monter son perso alors. Hein.
Ah oui, c'est pour ça.
It's the birthplace of the orcs, it's the home of the Draenei. It's a chance to explore these civilizations and these societies at their height. And while there's some familiar kind of nostalgia callbacks to players who played through Burning Crusade, it's ultimately a brand new world built from scratch from the ground up. There is a zone called Shadowmoon Valley, but it's not the Shadowmoon Valley you might remember from Outland, where there's felfire raining from the sky and Illidan standing atop his Black Temple telling you how unprepared you are. This time around, it's, rolling green hills with eternal twilight skies as Shadowmoon cultists conduct dark rituals under Stonehenge-like monuments. Like, totally, totally different vibe, and that's just, a taste of what the world has to offer. We're really excited to have, realized this. Our artists, our environment team did an incredible job putting this world together. We can't wait to share it with you all.
Can you guys wait to get into that? All right. Ian Hazakostas, Brian Holinka, thank you gentlemen so much for hyping us up about Warlords of Draenor, getting into some of the nitty-gritty of what it's all about. Let's hear it for them, folks. Now, all that stuff Ian and Brian were just talking about, you're going to get a glimpse of it a little bit later in the show. You're going to get a look at garrisons, what they look like, how you can customize
User
them.
joined your channel.
Positively peaceful, as Ian was saying. You're going to check out all the new environments of Warlords of Draenor. That's coming up in a little bit. But first, remember I mentioned the new animated series, deep delving into the lore of World of Warcraft?
Voilà, je veux juste, Marino, juste te demander de ne pas parler quand il y aura la cinématique de trucs parce que je la posterai après, alors...
Ah, ouais, tu t'enregistres.
Oui.
Ah bah, il y a une série animée qui va sortir, gros.
Quoi, tu la diffuses sur ton Twitch?
Oui.
Okay. Ah là, c'est ce que je suis en train de dire, là.
Ah, là, le Big Boss.
Thanks, guys.
Good morning, Los Angeles. How's
Ah non,
everybody
t'as
doing?
entendu?
Oui.
Excellent, excellent.
Ça fait déjà des années qu'ils parlent de ça. De série animée sur WoW.
Horde, where you at? Alliance, let me hear ya! Proud defenders of Azeroth. Guys, we got some cool stuff in store for you this morning. You know, it's not every day we get to debut one of these cinematic intros. It's actually, I think today is the first time we've ever done a community event to roll out one of our cinematics. These cinematics are near and dear to our hearts, especially the intros. Obviously, not only do they kind of set up the framework of the story, the
Putain, j'arrive pas à me connecter à ton Twitch, l'ours.
Ouais, c'est normal.
Comment ça se fait?
Trop de monde.
Il y a plein de monde, arrête. Non, je te jure, ça marche pas.
Je sais pas.
And I think, I hope that they show the tender love and care, the passion and craftsmanship that we try to put into
En fait,
our
c'est pas à la
product.
Gamescom. Hein.
We'll get to it in just a
Ah non, c'est
moment.
pas à la
I hope you
Gamescom.
guys love it like we do.
Mais si, c'est à la
C'est-
Gamescom.
non, là c'est ce qu'ils sont en train de dire les mecs. En fait, c'est une retransmission à la Gamescom. C'est pas la Gamescom. Ils sont pas en train de présenter à la Gamescom en fait.
The burdens of Xiao Hao.
Enfin, Los Angeles.
Excellent.
So,
So over the years, you know, we've built the products. We kind of construct the story that flows through the expansion sets.
Oui, c'est le grand patron de Blizzard, c'est lui.
Bah, je sais pas, ça charge ton Twitch. Moi, je vois pas, je suppose que personne sait le voir.
Je sais pas, il y a quelqu'un qui est là, il est en train de le voir, que ça marche.
Ça charge, ça charge.
Putain, ça va être nice. Il y a un dessin animé, enfin une série animée World of Warcraft.
And we loved it. We loved making it. It seemed like people liked it a
oublié que
lot.
c'était les-
And the fact that it's kind of just these little free pieces of animation to watch, it went out far and wide, right? It just, you know, I don't know, YouTube or wherever else. It cast a very wide net. We had a lot of people have a lot of fun with that product. So based on Xiao Hao, we looked at Warlords of Draenor. We thought, well, what can we do? What kind of animation can we produce? Whoa.
Putain, j'arrive pas à me connecter. C'est Link un peu le site du jour, tout ce que t'es.
Hein? De quoi?
Link un peu le site où t'es.
Ah, c'est toujours le même. Hein.
Ah, je sais pas, parce que tu regardes la cinématique là.
Cinématique? Ah, mais là, je peux pas te le mettre, là, le lien. Je peux pas.
Ah, chier.
Oui, on essaie de plus ou moins de traduire, mais bon, c'est pas évident. Comme on traduit rien, bah voilà. Bienvenue sur le site de l'ours qui ne sait pas traduire.
It's kind of funny. It strikes me that Kargas and a number
Bah,
of
on va
his
essayer de
buddies
traduire, mais vu
were
qu'on sait
created
pas
as
traduire, mais on traduit
characters.
rien.
Mais là, ils sont en train de dire que là, ils sont en train de parler de la série animée, tout
But what
simplement.
that means is, most World of Warcraft players have never met these guys, have
trop marrer
never
des
done
fois, quoi.
quests with them, or fought with them, or, you know, kind of,
Quoi, c'est vrai?
down as raid bosses.
Ça fait genre,
So
ah
this
oui,
series,
on vend du
right,
Red Bull,
it's
mais vu
hard.
qu'on n'a pas de
Really
Red Bull,
wants
on en vend
to,
pas.
Take you inside you why you should care, why you want to face them and bring them to justice, as we said before. So, guys, without further ado,
Ah, toi aussi tu joues à World of
very pleased to
Warcraft, mais vu que j'ai
present
pas d'ordinateur, bah j'y
Chapter
joue pas.
1 of Lords of War.
Bon, les gars, chut, hein.
Ouais, bah moi je peux pas voir le truc, je suis dégoûté quoi.
Chut. Ça a peut-être rien à voir, hein. C'est peut-être pas la cinématique. C'est peut-être le dessin animé qui vont peut-être...
Si, c'est parti. Ça
Au
commence.
revoir. Non, c'est le dessin animé.
King Fairy, the hour grows late. You must sign the declaration of war.
I was just a child when my father rushed to confront this same evil. He didn't understand these warlords at all. That mistake cost him his life and brought this kingdom to ruin.
You are not your father.
I know. But how can I succeed where he failed?
You can start by trusting my counsel. I have faced them before.
On Draenor, you were there all those years ago.
Yes. Believe me, They are not invincible.
Then tell me of them, Murad. Tell me everything.
Very well. Kargath had no clan. He was raised a slave. The ogre's cruelty was intolerable. So he sought a way out. The arena. 100 orc lives was the price for freedom. Fight. Kill. Salute. Kargath was unstoppable, and the day of his final fight had come. One last kill, and it was over.
Connection lost.
Lives. Kargath had earned his reward, like every champion before him. Buried beneath the arena, the promise of freedom, nothing but a lie. Would be chained no longer. Take your vengeance. Bound by vengeance, their name would be spoken in fear.
Allez, allez.
Was the birth of the Shattered Hand.
Ah bah, pas mal, pas mal. Une bonne petite série. Hein.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. As you can see, the age of the whimsical panda, sadly, is over. The Warcraft of old is back, and it is as savage as ever. We have 4 more episodes of Lords of War. They're going to be debuting over the next number of weeks. We're not featuring every warlord in the series, just very pivotal ones that really affect the way the story is going to play out in the game.
Bon les gens, désolé pour l'image, mais là ça commence doucement un peu à laguer. La cinématique va bientôt arriver je pense, et je crois que ça commence un peu à saturer.
You guys looking forward to more Lords of War? Learn more about this rogues gallery back here? Yes, please. All right, so I mentioned before after the interview that you're going to get a look at Draenor in action, a look at all the new areas, a look at garrisons, a look at the PvP madness of Ashran. That happens now. Enjoy.
Ok, désolé pour ces petits ralentissements. Normal, il y a plein de monde qui est en train de le regarder, alors ça lag un peu.
Super excited. You know, guys, in so many ways,
faut s'en douter, hein, à mon avis, ils le font exprès qu'il y ait un peu de lag, pour pas qu'il y a... De toute façon, moi, bon, ça va être sur YouTube, alors...
Of developing an idea, and how amazing to see some of these old ideas come around again and feel new. But Warcraft is so much more than a game. It really is the community. Where's Tibbs at in here? Dude, this guy's first in line, rapping last night. Just crazy commitment. Like all of you, your commitment to be here and kind of celebrate this moment with us is really what it's all about. And I really can't express to you how inspiring it is to be here for events like this, things like BlizzCon, and to be able to hear you, to hear the passion, really just stokes us up and fuels our tanks. And I can only tell you, we're working hard for you. We're listening. We're giving this thing everything we got. So thanks again for being here and just being part of this community. Thanks, guys. So, Warlords of Draenor. It was a weird story, right? I remember when we announced it at BlizzCon, in that big room, and you got people going, huh? You got some people going, yeah, right? Time travel, Star Trek, all that weird stuff, all the worries, all the way where you guys taking us, you're in good hands.
Mais je pense qu'on pourra customiser une ville, je pense. Je crois que tu auras ton village à toi, je pense, hein, mais je suis pas sûr.
30-odd years in the past of Draenor. A specific moment in history where the orcs came together and they struck a deal. A deal signed in corrupted blood. A deal that would shape the destinies of two worlds. And in a way, history's coming around again. Perhaps you'll see it ain't gonna go the way it went before. So while that sounds cryptic, you're about to get your first glance at the beginning of Warlords of Draenor.
Allez les gens, c'est parti.
Claim your destiny. You will all be conquerors. And what, Gul'dan, must we give in return? Everything. Reject this gift. And did you bring these mongrels here just to watch you die? We will never be slaves! But we will be conquerors.
Je t'avais dit. Et voilà, j'avais dit que c'était au mois de novembre. Et c'est au mois de novembre.
How awesome was that?
Eh oui.
I don't know how Blizzard does it every time, but they do it every time. That was incredible. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Warlords of Draenor launching on November 13th, 2014. That's just a few days after BlizzCon. Any of y'all going to BlizzCon? I had a feeling. But you don't have to wait until BlizzCon to get more awesome Blizzard stuff. Right now, in Germany at Gamescom, the biggest European gaming convention, Blizzard Entertainment is there, running a lot of cool stuff out of their booth. They've got news, they've got interviews, they've got contests and more. So, head on over to blizzard.com/Gamescom to get all that stuff about Warlords of Draenor, Heroes of the Storm, Hearthstone, and Diablo 3. It's been quite a show, hasn't it, folks? Thank you all for coming out again on behalf of my colleagues at GameSpot and the incredible team here at Blizzard. Thanks for coming and have a great day.
Et voilà. Voilà, je vais couper ici et je vous dis une bonne soirée. Merci d'avoir regardé, aux 2 ou 3 personnes qui ont regardé mon stream. Je vous dis à bientôt, merci.